What began as a trivial argument ultimately escalated into a world war. Initially, two primitives discovered a piece of gold in the wilderness. One, quick-eyed and swift-handed, grabbed the gold first. The other, seeing this, approached and tried to demand it, but was refused. In the next moment, he picked up a stone from the ground and hurled it. Thus, the curtain of war was raised over this piece of gold. At first, their weapons were nothing more than simple stones and sticks. However, as the conflict intensified, their weapons rapidly evolved, swiftly ushering them into the age of cold steel. The scale of the war grew larger and soon engulfed the entire tribe. By this time, they had gradually lost their sanity, and the war became increasingly brutal. For this originally insignificant piece of gold, both sides suffered heavy casualties. When cannons filled with gunpowder appeared on the battlefield, it marked their official entry into the age of firearms. Consequently, the most intense wars in human history broke out one after another. Soldiers from both sides fought fiercely on the battlefield, but they had long forgotten the cause of the war, with only the thought of annihilating the enemy remaining. The war has continued to this day, and neither side has learned a lesson. In order to quickly eliminate the other, weapons are constantly being updated, the battlefield is shrouded in smoke, and there are countless casualties. Ironically, despite the continuous progress of weapons and technology, the people using them have never changed. Even with the use of high-tech weapons such as airplanes and tanks, their inner selves and appearances remain those of primitives. It wasn't until the war reached a stalemate that as soon as one side developed a new weapon, the other side had already unveiled an even more advanced one. In a bid to secure victory, they made the most inhumane decision to pilot bombers to the slums for aerial bombardment. War is ruthless, yet the people are innocent. As the war neared its end, it was the civilians who suffered the most severe harm. Homes were destroyed, smoke filled the air, and the direction of the war changed as a result. In a futile attempt to retaliate against each other, both sides engaged in endless mutual bombings until one side could no longer bear it and chose to surrender. However, neither side was willing to back down. Since the final negotiations still yielded no results, the highest leaders of both sides pressed the most brutal button in human history. In the next second, nuclear weapons made their appearance, instantly obliterating all civilization. After the war, only lingering smoke remained. It was thought that the primitives would become extinct as a result, but there was one survivor in the air raid shelters on each side. Perhaps they would learn from their mistakes and coexist peacefully for the sake of human reproduction. But in the next moment, they unearthed weapons from underground. A new round of war began once again.